Pica Poco Kitchen. Today we're paying an homage to Japan by making aguachile and mangonada. ¡Vámonos! Right after the Mexican Revolution in 1917, there was a boom of industries, which opened the door to different immigrants from various parts of the world. Japanese immigrants settled in different states in Mexico, one of them being Sinaloa, which coast is located right next to the Pacific Ocean and where the fishing industry was growing. So it is believed that dishes like aguachile comes from the evolution of Japanese fishermen teaching Mexican fishermen how to eat raw fish. Of course, with our addition of lime and peppers. And it is now one of the most beloved and refreshing dishes there are. But talking about refreshing, it is hot in Virginia. I don't know about you, but what better way to refresh ourselves if not with a mangonada, a mango aid. But a mangonada would be nada without chamoy. And chamoy is another dish that comes from an inspiration of a Japanese dish. Ube mochi is a fermented preserved Japanese apricot that is served on its own or added to season other dishes, just like ours. Only the difference is that our version, of course, has lime and chili. So get ready with your antacids because it's gonna get sour. Let's go. To make our aguachile, there are very few things we're gonna need. But the most important of them all is your shrimp. Make sure it's fresh, no shell, and clean. So cut the back and get rid of the caquita. I'm only using half a pound because it's just for my husband and me, but feel free to multiply it as you need it. We're gonna need some red onion, julienne, and we're gonna need some pepino. This is a word that I don't say often in English because I always get it wrong. So cucumbers. Never know which one it is. But I cut it in half and I deseeded it because that helps with your digestion. I'm gonna use some freshly squeezed lime. I have 3/4 of a cup again because I don't have that much shrimp. Salt, pepper, and a secondary star of our dish is this tiny pepper right here. This is dried chiltepiln. Chiltepiln is originally from Mexico and I believe in the north and also southwest of the US you can find it. Chiltepiln, the name Chiltepiln comes from the Nahuatl. Chili, which means pepper, tecpin, which means flea. So is the flea pepper. It is spicy, spicier than jalapeno. So if you get it, be wise on how much you're gonna use. I think I'm gonna go for 2 teaspoons of it just to start, and if not, I'm gonna test it and then add a little bit more if I feel like it. So let's start with 2 teaspoons of chiltepiln. We're gonna mash it. I can already tell that I'm gonna probably need more. We're gonna add some salt. And pepper. Here comes my lime. And this is gonna give me some impression of how spicy it might be. Woo! Nice and spicy. I think I'm gonna leave it that way, just to not go too crazy. So when I was a dorky little kid, I was always very amused and fascinated on how was it possible for raw shrimp to become cooked when mixed with lime. And to appease my anxious self, the adults in my life will always say, "Oh, don't you worry, lime cooks and kills everything." That's what they tell us. Lime cooks everything. But let me tell you, just as an adult, I realized that that's not true. So what happens is that the acid of the lime or the vinegars change the protein of meats and fish. What happens is that the protein of the fish and meat is curly. So the acid makes it straight, which makes it easier to digest, giving it the texture and the effect of being cooked, just the same way that heat would do to the protein. But in difference to the temperature, to exposing these proteins to the temperature, is that the acid doesn't kill the microorganisms of the protein, and it doesn't kill the bacteria either. So if you're gonna do this either with meat for tartar or fish or shrimp for some aguachile, make sure that your meats or your fish and shrimp are fresh. The fresher, the better. And never, ever do this with chicken. Chicken is the no-no for cooking with lime. I don't know who would want that anyway. Okay, so I'm just gonna give it a little mix and I'm gonna let it marinate for a good while in the fridge while I'll do my mangonadas. To make your chamoy, you're gonna need 1 cup of dried apricots, 1 cup of dried prunes, but you could substitute the prunes for dried cranberries or even dates. You're gonna need 1 cup of Jamaica flower or dried hibiscus, however you wanna call it. You're gonna need 1/3 of a cup of Tajin, 1/4 of a cup of sugar, 1 lime. This is optional, but if you want to make it a little bit more spicy, you can add some other dry peppers of your choosing. I'm gonna use 2 Árbol chile and 2 cups of water. I'm gonna bring everything to a simmer with the exception of the Tajin and the lime. And I'll show you what we'll do next. Bring your ingredients to a stove set to medium heat. Dissolve your sugar and make sure that everything gets well hydrated. Once it starts boiling, turn it off and let it cool before you bring it to your blender. Add all your ingredients, including the liquids. This is when you want to add your Tajin or the chili of your choosing and squeeze your lime. Don't forget to use both halves. And now just take it to your blender. To get the smooth consistency that chamoy has, we're going to go through a process that is slow, frustrating, messy, and quite annoying, but it's worth it. You're going to go little by little, sifting your mixture, scraping the walls, and using a clean spoon to scrape the bottom. You're going to do that as long as it takes for you to do through your whole mixture. Now, if you have a foot mill, this process is going to be way easier. Here is my chamoy. You can put it in a jar and it's gonna be good for up to 2 months in your fridge, or you could maybe freeze it in some ice cubes and use it as you go. For the mangonada, I need nothing but my mango. I froze it this morning because I didn't want it to be rock hard, But if yours is already frozen, you could either add some ice or water to make it a little bit smoother. The texture is up to you. So to blend it, I'm gonna use 1 tablespoon of sugar just to increase its sweetness, because you never know if all your mango is gonna be equally sweet. So just 1 tablespoon. Let me blend it and I'll be back. And here I have it, super smooth, super creamy. 2 things to make it creamier. I did end up using a little bit of water to help the blender. You could use mango juice, and also the best mango to use would be Ataulfo, because it's the creamier and the higher in fiber content, so that will make your mangonada smoother. All right, so I have my glass and I'm gonna start by layering a little bit of chamoy. No, you know what? Hold on a second. Okay, this is the smallest plate I could find. Don't mind, it's Christmas. Christmas in July. So first we're gonna take our glass and cover our rim with some chamoy. Okay, don't mind the spill, it's gonna be from me anyway. And you can even double down on the Tajin. People who live in humid places, tell me what you do with your Tajin so it doesn't clog. Ooh. And let's go back to the layering. So I'm gonna start by layering some of my chamoy right in the bottom of my glass. And with some mango goodness. And I happen to have around this strawberry coulis. It's just a strawberry syrup, but you could just skip it, use some blended strawberries, or just forget about it. But I have it and I need to find ways to use it. No, I don't want to add too much because it's already too sweet. Add some more mango. Oh, so good. And some chamoy on top. Oh, and of course I saved some of the mango that I didn't freeze just to put as a nice topping. Okay, so let's put everything together. And here you have it, amigues. These 2 dishes showcase how much we enrich ourselves when we allow our cultures to integrate and make these amazing creations. Now, I can't wait any longer. It's time to try. Oh, guys, I'm telling you, this smells delicious. Mm. 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 It truly is delicious. Last but not least, Mangonada. So I chose a boba straw because why not? Mmm. Yep. It's creamy, just a little bit spicy, tangy. Hmm. Like if healthy smoothies were fun. Amigas, please make them. Share them with your friends. Just like this video, like, subscribe, and be notified. And for more, follow me on the socials. Adios, amigues. Mm. Mm.